And take a comfortable seat. Take a moment to adjust, shift, find that connection with sitting bones and whatever you're sitting on. And then give a good press down into your thighs and lengthen your sides. As you draw your shoulder blades onto your back, let your eyes close and take just a moment to let yourself breathe deeply. In and out of your nose. Filling up the front and the back of you. And even using that breath to help you lengthen on the inhale and then root a little bit more through the legs and sitting bones on the exhale. And then bring hands to connected heart center and gently press your palms together. Lifting shoulders up and back. Take a big deep breath here. And on your exhale, bow toward your heart. Then softly opening your eyes, releasing your hands down, and take a moment to move through your spine. Walk your hands out to your knees and gently exhale, press back. Inhale, draw your belly and your heart forward. A little cat and cow movement here. One more big breath here. Then inhale, sit tall, and bring your fists to your low back, and even walk them down so they're at your upper glutes. And give a little press down as you give a little gentle tuck of the tail so your low belly is drawing in. Lift your shoulders up and back, lengthen through the back of the neck. Hug your elbows toward each other. And from here, if it's comfortable, you can take that ear to shoulder action. And as you come back into center now, tuck your chin down, keep pushing downward onto your glutes, keeping your low belly engaging. Shoulders or elbows rather are hugging back. Shake your head no a little bit toward the ground. And then inhale, lift your chin up. And as you lift your chin up, again, shoulder blades are engaged, elbows hugging back. And then take some half circles here. Then back into center now, release your arms and switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross. And shift your sitting bones. And then hands walk out to your knees. And as you exhale, press back with your spine, your chin tucks in. And take a couple big breaths here, just letting your upper back especially expand. Then inhale, draw your heart forward, expanding, shoulder blades engaged. Take a big, full, deep breath and notice your front body expanding. One more full cat-cow, moving with your breath. Exhale, press back. Inhale, draw your belly and your heart forward. And then work your hands forward, coming as deeply into a fold as you need. Working toward elbows on blocks or hands on the floor or whatever variation here you need. Take a big deep breath. Then gently inhale and bring yourself back upright. And we'll get a little more into the hips from sitting. You can take out anything that you're sitting on here if you would like to, and then take feet wider than your mat. And with that, we've done this a couple times lately, we'll take our windshield wipers. And as you take your windshield wipers here, you can lean back onto your hands, but you're staying more upright here for this first set of windshield wipers. And as you take this movement, think of allowing that opposite hip to lift considerably. Really, that gets a little bit more into the pocket muscle and maybe into the thighs and start to wake up through the hips. One more time on each side. And then come back into center now, sitting tall. Give yourself a base. Take your left leg in front. And then you're going to take that half happy baby pose with your right leg. So you're going to pick your foot up and hold on to your foot or your shin with your right hand. And then your left hand comes to the floor beside you. Again, find that tall spine and then give a pull back with your right hand and a resistance push into your hand with your foot or your leg. Lift your chest, lift your heart. Take a big, full, deep breath. And now go ahead and switch sides. Take right leg out in front of you so that you have that base. Hold on to your left foot or shin, whatever you need to hold on to. And then with your right hand beside your hip, find that length. Lift up through your spine. Find that tilt of your belly forward and create that resistance. Pull back with your hand. Push into your hand with your foot. Lift up tall. Take a full, big, deep breath. One more full breath here. And then gently release your left leg down. And now this time we're going to take soles of feet together into our diamond shape. So not quite the butterfly, that space in between your legs. And then move your sitting bones. This helps to get into the piriformis sometimes. So first, let's take the forward fold that we know and love. So take an inhale and sit up tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold as deeply as you need. We're not going to be here for a super long time, so you don't necessarily need to prop yourself. Take a big, deep inhale and lengthen more. Extend your heart forward. Exhale, maybe you deepen into the stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take it to the depth that's right for you and your body. One more pulsation this way. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Then inhale, rise up. You're keeping this general shape with your legs. First thing, we'll take a side stretch, so left fingertips beside your hip, right arm reaches up and over your ear. And you can take this as far to the left as your body is ready for, but think of keeping your right sitting bone down. Push with your left hand and expand your right ribs. Full big deep breath. Then inhale, rise all the way back up, and we're taking right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches up and over the ear. And again, take it as deeply out to the side as your body needs, but keep the left sitting bone well grounded. Push with your hand, expand your ribs to the left, full breath. Then inhale, rise all the way back up. And now we're going to take a spinal twist. So reach across with your right hand to your knee, your shin, your thigh, wherever it needs to be. Press down with fingertips behind you and lift up taller. Then use an exhale to help your low ribs draw in and twist a little bit more. Full big breath. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, take that twist across to the right side. Right fingertips are behind you, lift up through your sides. And exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist. Deep, full breaths. Good, inhale, come back into center. And now let's one more time take that fold. So inhale, sit tall, and exhale, fold towards your feet as deeply as you need. And this time, if you want to, you can add a prop here. You can set something over your feet, like your bolster or pillow or a block. Just about 5 breaths right here. And then inhale, gently support yourself to rise all the way back up. You can set your block aside. And now we're going to roll over to the side so you can come up onto your hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we'll let ourselves get into that psoas a little bit more. So you're welcome to grab blocks here, but we're going to take our lunge. So step right foot forward in between your hands, back knee backs up as far as your body is ready for. And then go ahead and bring your hands up to your hips. So this low lunge with the knee on the ground is a great way to work through the psoas. So as you center off your hips, think of pushing down with your back knee a little bit and then bending into your front knee joint. Lift your ribs, your chest, your heart, and you can even walk your hands further onto your low back. Think about creating space. Press down with your hands on your glutes. Lift your chest up higher. Maybe bend a little deeper into your front knee. Full breath. Then bring both hands down to the front of your mat and work your hands to the inside. Again, back knee can work back a little further if you would like. You're welcome to keep your knee in close or your leg in close, or you can walk your foot out a little ways. Your choice, whichever sounds like it might feel the best through your hips for you. So then work down toward one elbow, maybe two, coming to that alligator or lizard pose. Big breath. As you grow longer through your spine, just notice where you feel tight, what it is in your body that's showing up. And then rise back to hands and settle back with both knees. Hands can stay on blocks here if you want to switch sides. Taking the left foot forward. Work your back knee back as far as you need, and then bring your hands up to your hips. Center with hips, and again, press the right knee down so that you're not sinking as far into your hip, and then bend deeper into your front knee. So those two actions can happen at once. Now press down on your hips, lift your chest, your ribs, your heart. Think of creating space from hip to armpit, and then allow that curling back to happen if that's in your practice here through the upper back. Full breath. Next, exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat and work hands to the inside. And again, it's your choice. You can take the more narrow version or the wider version. I always like to work my back knee back a little further, but then you can take your front foot out to the left or keep it right close and then work down toward one elbow, maybe two. Big, full, deep inhale and exhale. And then gently bring yourself all the way back upright. Set both knees back, settle the hips back towards your heels into a child's pose. Your favorite version, so wide or narrow with your knees, either one. And as you let your head settle, take a couple big breaths and do a little bit of movement through your hips, your arms, whatever feels good in your body for a little bit of shifting. And then gently bring yourself all the way upright and footprints to the floor. And then we're going to lay all the way down onto our backs. And we'll try to get into our psoas with our windshield wipers. And we do this pretty often. But with this particular one, we'll take the time on each side to really let our hip lift to try to get into that psoas. So feet wide. And then drop both knees over to the right. And from this place, activate your feet. Look at your left thigh, make sure it's straight ahead from your hip as opposed to angling in toward the right. And then if it feels okay in your body, you can set your right foot over your left thigh to add that extra stretch. If that bothers your knees or really anything in the body, then just take your foot off, that's okay. If you're doing it without the foot, then using your left hand for a little support and sometimes helps. You can prop your hip a little up with your elbow on the ground here so that your hip moves toward the right side. As your hip moves toward the right, keep feet flexed and try to reach through your thigh. Full deep breath. And again, if you want, you can add the arms reaching overhead. About 3 more big breaths here. And remember, you can always take your foot off your thigh if that stops feeling good. And then gently bring legs back up to center. Feet wide, and then drop both knees over to the left side. And again, check your right thigh. Make sure it's straight ahead from your hip. Flexed feet, if you want to add that foot over your thigh, you're welcome to. And if you're not taking the foot over the thigh, then the hand underneath the hip sometimes helps to get a little bit deeper. I know for me, sometimes if it really is a tight psoas that's going on, then if I am holding on to the low back and doing a little bit of massage, then I can feel the psoas saying hello. So you can try that out and just see. A little squeeze through the low back and the hip. Good, and then gently take your foot off and bring your legs back into center, arms back down by your sides, knees drop in together to touch. And then as you take your head side to side, just giving your neck a little love for a moment. Notice what's showing up through your neck, your shoulders. And now the next variation here that is supportive on the psoas would be hips up on something. So pick your poison. It can be a bolster. You have one of the big blue blocks, you could always use one of those. Or you can use just a regular size block. So feet walk in towards your sitting bones, lift your hips and slip your prop underneath your hips. You can adjust it until your sacrum feels comfortable. And then if you want to add the psoas part, you can walk your legs out. Arms reach overhead here. Take a full big breath and remember that you don't have to stay with the arms or the legs this way. You can always shift back. We have about 5 more big breaths right here. And now gently walk your feet back in, arms back by your sides, and then lift your hips, lift your prop out from underneath, hips all the way to the ground. And then take right knee in close to your chest, hug it in, extend your left leg, give a flex to both feet, take a big exhale and hug your knee in closer. Then inhale, switch sides. And exhale, hug it in. And inhale, switch sides. And exhale, hug it in. And inhale, switch sides. Exhale, hug it in. And now feet to the ground. Knees come together to touch. Hands to your upper thighs at your hip creases and give a push so that your low back is lifting a little bit. And then add some movement here through your pelvis. Think of a little pivot, a little forward and back movement. And then soles of feet come together, knees open wide, moving the hips in the other direction to open up through the groins. Butterfly here. So take a couple big breaths. And if you want, you can always stack fists right underneath your upper thighs, right up toward the glutes, or you can add props underneath. Sometimes it feels pretty good just to use your hands here. Take a big couple of breaths. And then bring your knees back up to center. And then we're going to take one more spinal twist. So pull knees both up into your chest. And then take your knees over to the right side. And think of propping them high enough so that your left shoulder can be on the ground. So you might prop underneath or in between or both. And if your right shoulder is on the ground, go ahead and open arms up to a T or a cactus, and then turn your gaze over to the left. Take a big deep breath. And then knees back into center and prop over to the right or to the left side rather, if you would like it. And then take knees over to the left. And again, lock or prop in between or underneath or both. And then arms to that T again, if it's comfortable, turn your gaze to the right, take a full breath. And then inhale, knees back up to center and set footprints on the ground. And then begin to shift yourself into a comfortable rest. So if it felt really good to have your hips up on something, feel free to come back to that for a Shavasana. Or to prop your legs up so that you have that little bit of traction for your spine. You decide what would feel the best and start to shift into a really comfortable resting pose. Begin to take a deeper breath. And gently move through fingers and through toes. Slowly bend your knees and roll to your side. And gently press yourself back up to your seat. And connect hands together at heart center. With eyes closed, take a moment for a full deep breath. Have a very peaceful, beautiful rest of your night. Have safe travels. Namaste. Thanks.